lines to be on listen only until the question and answer portion. I'd now like to turn the call over to Jeff Nelson. Thank you. You may begin.
Thank you, Brian. Welcome to our weekly teleconference with Coach O'Brien. We'll start our questions today with Rich Scarcella in Reading. Rich, go ahead.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Rich.
Bill, can you measure the emotions of your team this week, and are you at all concerned that they may not be able to keep them in check Saturday?
Well, I think our team's very, very excited. We've had a productive training camp. We've gone against each other quite a bit, and I think they're ready to play a different opponent. I definitely will address throughout the week the emotions at the beginning of the game, because for everybody involved, it'll be, just like most college football teams in the country, a very emotional time, especially when you run out there for the first time and it's your first game. And so I think if our guys can control their emotions and play within themselves and not try to be heroes and just play the way they've been playing in practice, then we'll have a shot to control those emotions early on. So, but it's something that we have talked about and we'll continue to talk about.
Bob Flanders in Harrisburg.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, Bob.
Bill, I remember when you were on your coach's caravan tour in the spring, I think you said you're not a guy that gets real nervous about things, whether it's speeches or games. And I was wondering, is that going to change at all, given this is your first game as head coach? And is there anything, Bill, you can share maybe about what your pregame routine is like on a Saturday before a game?
I will certainly have butterflies before this game. I mean, I'd be crazy to tell you otherwise. I mean, this is my first football game as a head football coach, and but as soon as you kick it off, and for me, as soon as we start calling plays on offense and get the thing going, then obviously you're focused on the game and the butterflies go away. That's just the way it's been probably for me in a first game for my whole career, and now especially with me being the head coach. The pregame routine for me will be very similar to what I've done in the past, because I'm going to call the plays on offense, so I'll make sure that I'm meeting with the quarterbacks, continuing in my own mind to just go over the openers, the opening plays of the game, the different things that I think this fantastic Ohio team is going to do to us, and try to anticipate some things and understand that it's a first game and a lot of things are going to come up that maybe we weren't exactly prepared for, and how are we going to handle those. So I'll just continue to go over the call sheet throughout the hour before the kickoff.
Derek Lavarson, Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah, Bill, do you feel better about the depth in your secondary coming out of camp, and how important will that be this week against the passing offense?
I feel good about the secondary. Again, they've, just like everybody else, we've got to go out and play and play well. I think they've been very well coached by John Butler. He's a very detailed coach and done a heck of a job with these guys. We've got some younger guys that have come in and really improved, and we think they can help us. So I feel good about the secondary, and now I'm looking forward to watching those guys go out and play again against an excellent quarterback in Tyler Tettleton and a core of receivers and tight ends that are really good football players at Ohio. So it'll be a great matchup, and I just really want our guys to go out there and do their best and play as well as they can.
Mark Wogenrich in Allentown.
So what would you like to see from Mike Mowdy in his first game back in a long time to prove to you that he's ready to play?
Again, Mike doesn't have much to prove to me. Mike has, he's worked extremely hard in his rehab, and he's worked extremely hard in training camp. He's been a fantastic leader for our football team, and I just want Mike to go out there, and really for Mike, I just want him to play well, because he's a guy that, like a lot of these seniors, I've developed a very close bond with, and I just want to see Mike go out and perform well, because he sure has put in the time.
Frank Bodani, New York.
Hey, Bill. As far as the position second string behind Matt McGloin, it looks like, at least on paper, that it could be more even with Stephen Bench and Paul Jones. Could you talk a little bit about how the backup competition is gone, and are those two guys even heading into the first game?
Paul Jones is still the number 2 quarterback, but I will say that Stephen Bench has come in and definitely closed the gap. He's a leader. He's a guy that is the son of a football coach from Georgia, where high school football is a really big deal. And so he's been brought up around football his whole life, and he's done a lot of good things in training camp. But at the end of the day, right now, Paul Jones is still the number 2, and we'll go from there.
Joe Giuliano in Philadelphia.
Hi, Bill. Getting back to your level of excitement as the game approaches, it's been 8 months since you were hired, and now finally you get to coach a football game. Were there times during these last 8 months that you think this game would never have gotten here?
When you're working with your staff and your players and everybody's working really hard, time passes pretty quickly. So we were just actually sitting around the other day and saying, well, it's here. Training camp's over and it's game week. So, I just think it's been a very rewarding for me personally, a rewarding 8 months, because I've got a chance to meet some fantastic people here at Penn State, develop a really good bond with our football team, and we've had our ups and downs, obviously, but our staff's working well together, and we're just looking forward to playing the game.
Mike Gross in Lancaster.
Hi, Bill. One of the things that Coach Paterno got that was much mentioned about him was that he did not have a special teams coach. And I see with your staff, you don't have anybody who has that specific responsibility either. So how are you going to handle that?
Well, John Butler oversees special teams. So he coaches our secondary, and then he oversees special teams, and he'll run the special teams on the sideline. And then we have coaches that are divided up on the staff that divide up the responsibilities of what we call the Big Four: the punt team, the punt return team, the kickoff team, and the kickoff return team. So, but on the sideline on game day, John Butler will be in charge of special teams.
Donnie Collins in Scranton.
Hi, Bill. What do you like about the way Mike Farrell has performed so far, and how happy are you with that with the offensive line?
Mike Farrell has come in. He had a really good summer. You can tell he definitely did a great job of prioritizing football over the summer and getting in shape and getting stronger. And he's one of the most improved players on our football team since spring practice. Feel good about the depth of the offensive line. Again, just like when you're in the NFL, you really sometimes you bring 7 linemen to a game, sometimes 8 if you're lucky. So. I believe we've got between 8 to 10 guys there that can play, and so you won't just see 5 guys play. You'll see other guys rotate in there and play, and give some guys some playing time, and I think that'll bode well for us now and in the future.
Scott Brown, Pittsburgh Tribune Review.
Yeah, hey, Bill. In regard to Paul Jones, you said on media day that you do plan to play him this season. Does that change at all after training camp, and you made the kind of progress you hope to see?
I would say that Paul will play this season. We'll have to see how the games go. So have to see how this game goes and see what type of game it is. It's always a matter of the flow of the game, the rhythm of the game, and Matt McGloin's our starter, and he's done a really good job of coming in here and in training camp and improving on where he was from spring practice. And we'll just see how the game goes, but I would still say that Paul will play.
Okay, at this point, we'll take questions here in the media room. Ask that you please raise your hand, and we'll bring a microphone to you.
How you doing, Bill?
Hey, guy.
How do you think the new rules on special teams, especially kickoffs, are going to impact the games this fall?
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see. How teams approach that, whether they just kick it through the end zone or pooch kick it, or we're actually prepared for all different kinds of situations there. We've done a really, I think, a decent job of preparing our players for all the different circumstances, situations that could come up with the new rules. So we'll see how